Indonesia, you're the first flagged licensed country and exporter. What has been your situation and what's been your experience as a producing nation during this time?
Okay, thank you, David. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Budi from Kayu Lapis, Indonesia. Just a brief background about Kayu Lapis. We are integrated wood industry. We manage our own forest concession in Indonesia, covering about 1 million hectare of forest land sustainably. And then our main product is plywood. We're one of the biggest plywood producer. Main market is the US market, and then European market, and all over the world. Just a brief situation update with the COVID. So COVID brings a big problem in lockdown. So lockdown basically kills businesses. It basically stopped businesses from the supply side and also from the buying side. So for example, when we first started lockdown in Indonesia, that was in April in Jakarta, nobody basically goes out. So basically, plywood, nobody buys plywood. Even our customer has to shut down. They have to close shops, even in UK. So when we talk to the UK customer, they just have to wait. So they're like, okay, we want to buy, but we just have to postpone until the market opens again. And it also affects in India, we face it, and it also affects the cash flow. So it's a big mess. And from the supply side, we also find similar things. Supply is also affected, meaning less supply, because in Indonesia, we have 27 provinces. So each province is determined by the governor, whether to open, whether to close, and how many days. So, and even they're in remote areas in the forest, some area you have to be quarantined 14 days. So it's really difficult because when you want to buy, let's say logs, you have to send grader, but grader cannot goes in, or grader can go in, but they have to be quarantined for 14 days. So it really is a big mess. But fortunately, I think Indonesia President Jokowi has taken a good kind of a balance, not really to step on the brake 100%, because he understands fully that locking down 100% will do more harm to the economy than of Indonesia than it helps, while trying to contain the spread of the COVID. So right now, not only the supply is very low, but because of La Nina is another effect of an increase of heavy rainfall. So that is happening already starting in, I would say, around September. So you start to see that in the recent month, starting of September, the log price has increased 10% every month. So right now it has increased by 30% in the last 3 months. That's a big jump. And right now we have to pass it on to our customer. That's a challenge during COVID. But that's the reality. And then also another challenge for our customers are the freight charges. So suddenly the whole world is in a mess in terms of vessel, containers. You can find containers, but a lot of them are being delayed, and a lot of the rates are prices are very sky high. So for example, a container from Indonesia to UK, Europe, that's 140 foot is about 4,000 to 5,000 US dollar. And it was an increase by $1,500 since last month. So that's a big jump. So, with the price increase because of the log shortage, and also the freight charges increase a lot. So this is really a challenging moment. But of course, also another thing is the whole of Europe right now is on lockdown. So that's kind of like our worry. So if the buying country is in lockdown in quite a long time, that can really stop the movement of the trade.
The things you mentioned there are really having a knock-on effect. I guess for all of the producer countries, you can start to control, in a way, you can have some control over production within your own country, but then all of the other supply chain inflation, the freight, the logistics, all of these things are going to have a big knock-on effect on pricing and competitiveness, and that must be a problem for everybody.
Yes, very, very, very tough. Even though like the freight, I mean, it's a big increase. You still face delays. So a lot of containers are being parked in Port Klang, Malaysia, and Singapore as a hub. So you cannot really get a good estimation of delivery anymore. So for example, when I order even from China, I order spare part from China. I order air freight for DHL. What it used to be maximum 3 days, right now maybe I receive it in 10 days. This is for air freight. So you can imagine how the container is going to be even longer. So this is the situation that we are facing right now.
Yeah. And within that, I realize it is very, very difficult to give any kind of prediction for next year. Do you see any upside to next year? Do you see any improvement anywhere?
At least for the first early months, I would say. Actually, it's already beginning because it mainly due to very shortage of supply, because the La Nina is really quite uniform in the whole part of Indonesia. So whether Central Kalimantan, North Kalimantan, East Kalimantan, and the eastern side of Indonesia, where we used to get our logs for making plywood, every day when I call them, they're just raining. So
yeah,
we're desperate. That's why the log price has increased 30% since the last 2 months. So it's very challenging. So customer do have to pay the hike in price. So until it balance again, then we would see, because our Ministry of Finance also predicted that our growth rate actually has been stable at 5%. During the second, when we faced the lockdown, it went down to -5%.
Wow.
Yeah, that really hurts. That's why it really shows what a lockdown can do to the economy. So it -5%, and then when it opens up, the third semester, it goes to -3.5%. So, and they're quite confident that by mid next year they should be back to 5%. So it just gradually goes up, in line with what the other world is. I guess during the first time when they locked down, nobody knows what is COVID. They're more scared about it, and so people stay home. But as time goes by, with the vaccine is being developed and everything, so hopefully by next year it can somehow partly resolve. But I believe every country in the world understand that locking down too long will hurt their economy much further.